Hi, welcome back to Retro Rats. And we have a guest.
Hi.
It's Harry. And he's travelled down here, guess what, on a train.
And a bike.
And a bike, look at that. Well, I'm going to turn the camera around and show you guys back. When you bring your tools on a bike, but not just any bike, a proper Rally 20. Now I've got a few of these and I've been really negligent and just stacked them up in a garage and not done anything, but then it's cold.
This is my daily at the moment, you've got no excuse.
Don't you think it's cold?
No. Put coat on.
Yeah. Well, I've put a coat on, it's still bloody cold. We're here today because we're going to do the Rover. This is Wilson, and untouched since the AA dropped him off, other than the fact that a few of us pushed it to this location. And you're quite intrigued by the engine.
I am.
Yeah.
It's, I thought these only had the baby K series with
Yeah.
the single cam in. But this is the twin cam one, like it fits to Lotuses and Freelanders and all sorts.
I wouldn't say he's pokey, but he's talky.
Yeah.
I mean,
hang about.
well, if you wanted to drive it like that, it would go. But it's Jared towed a caravan. When Jared owned it for a few months, Jared towed a caravan all the way up to Scotland. I personally will give it an easier life, I thought. But yeah, so we're going to diagnose today what happened to it, because as of yet, we don't know. The cam belt is present.
It is. I'm not bending this cover too much, but you can see that feels really quite looser than I'd like, but it does exist.
It does exist. We'll get back to you with more once we've stripped it down a bit more. So the bottom's moving, but the
top
cover at
end.
the top end.
Yeah, we'll come forwards.
Yeah, that is not moving. So the
No,
bottom's
then it
moving and the
locks up.
top's not. That's
Nice.
we'll see what the damage is. So just literally going to show you snippets as we go. So the power steering fluid is off. Come on, camera, focus. And we've safely drained that and stored it.
Just to give slightly better access.
And
Rocker cover's coming off.
rocker cover coming off now. And we're going to have to jack and get some access there, because as you can see, there's not really a lot of room in there. Obviously, if you're changing the cam back, you wouldn't need so much room. But as we need to find out what the initial fault was.
I mean, to be fair, compared to some moderns, there's quite a lot of room there. Like,
Yeah, it really is. Actually, you open up some moderns and you're just like,
even doing like
just
an
a
oil
black
filter
box.
on something like a Vauxhall Insignia, because I know how much you love them.
I love a Vauxhalls.
You almost have to take a drive shaft off to get to the oil filter.
Yeah, well, we were
It's
saying before
mad.
off camera, like you said about changing the light on a Mini,
Yeah.
a modern Mini. Obviously, the R50s aren't quite like that. So, yeah, I've got to change the bulb in my modern Mini. Saying that, pinged the other night, and I'm driving around with one light. So yeah, there you go, people.
Got the rocker cover off. See the
Twin
beautiful
cam.
twin cams.
Beautiful twin cam. Not really any wear on there as such. They look nice, and a little bit shiny on the tips, but nothing.
No pitting or anything.
No, they're in good order, and the oil looks all sort of like it was doing its job well. Nice. Those spark plugs are deep down in there, aren't they? Do you want to show people where your 8mm socket is?
Yeah, my 8mm socket ran off
So if you drop your 8mm socket,
and has disappeared into the power steering pump. But honestly, you can't get to it. I've had to borrow Peggy's. Right. Oh, Chloe. Whose socket set is it?
My,
yours or Peggy's?
Nah, both ours, so you got it right.
Yeah.
There we are,
The
people.
timing belt.
The timing belt is still on there.
Still on there, but clearly not going round.
Something's failed. As of yet, we don't know what. Taking you guys with me, so we're going to have a look at this.
So I'm just spinning the bottom end over.
Yeah.
And you can see that the bottom pulley's turning.
Bottom pulley's turning.
But none of the other pulleys are turning.
No.
And the belt's not showing any signs of movement, so it's almost like the belt's just like fallen off the bottom or stripped all its teeth or something.
It would have had to strip its teeth, wouldn't it?
Well, either that or, yeah.
There's no way for me to get the camera down there, so we'll have to take the rest off.
It doesn't feel like it's snapped, you know. I couldn't pull it out, so it must have stripped its teeth. Right, head off.
Head off. Let's have a look. We've got to move the car back and then head off. Not head off. Head off.
No.
It's not pub time yet.
I wish.
Just undoing the manifold bolts, which, for a 29-year-old car, they're undoing.
Don't tempt fate. Goodness sake.
Come on, Wilson. Wilson wants to be saved. Wilson was going to do the NC 500. I'm kind of glad that he didn't do this up on the NC 500. It would have been a very long tow home. So we're busy chatting away here, and Harry's slowly, steadily taking everything apart. The manifold is undone, pipes are off.
I've kept these spark plug leads in the holder so we know what order they go in. I'm taking the distributor cap off as I wanna, so we won't have to worry about putting them in the right place on the way back.
And the air intake's all off, which was a bit ropey. I need to change the air intake.
Novel place for a coil.
But yeah, it's slowly coming apart. Yeah, the coil down there, just a side note, was the very first fault that I had with the car, because the water gets in and sits in that corner,
right, yeah.
and then your car conks out because your coil lead is wet.
Yeah.
I solved it by lots of WD-40 and replacing the coil lead, and it never did it again.
Fair enough. Would have thought a little splash panel over the top might not.
It come up from underneath or some on the side. I'm not really sure, but lots of cleaning and new lead, and it never did it again. Right, ignore the noise in the background because they're building an extension on our house. They're just cutting bits and bobs, but there you go, there it is, all undone. Harry's been really brave and physically led under the engine, which I can't do because I'm claustrophobic.
This is all loose, ready to slide off forwards. Exhaust manifolds drop down, all the coolant pipes are off.
Because obviously Ian's had a lot of stick for not quite knowing what he's filming. Well, I never ever claim to know what I'm filming. I just take you on the journey.
I only pretend to know what I'm doing. I don't really know.
That's good, isn't it? Well, you're doing a better job than me.
All a pretend.
It's all a pretend. Well, we'll learn as we go. That's why I do the bodywork, because I kind of find it as a nice giant jigsaw, 3D jigsaw. So what we're going to do now...
Just releasing the tension on the cam belt. Because there's no... Ordinarily, you'd want to time these up and then lock them. That's really critical on the K-Series. But there's no point in doing that because it's all out of time anyway, because it's all...
It's out of time and the head's coming off.
Yeah,
so.
And to be honest, the valves are going to be bent inside the head.
So we're just going to find out what the initial fault was at the bottom.
Yeah, drop the cam belt off.
And we're going to see what the damage was inside.
Job done.
Yeah, intriguing.
So because we're not looking at keeping the belt, I've just cut through it. And you can see...
When you bend it like that, it's quite amazing, isn't it?
What looked like a reasonable belt,
It did look good.
Is a bit worn.
Now the sun's come out to highlight it as well.
See how they might fall off? You know, I think we've stripped teeth at the bottom. We will see.
So you're allowed to grill me, people. It looks like cam belt failure. Sorry, Wilson.
he will live again.
So Harry's underneath at the minute. This is what you mostly see. This is the typical, I'm going to take a photo. There you go. That is a typical Rover look. So Harry's just undoing the bottom pulley. And then the moment of truth, we can see the bottom of that belt. And we can whip the head off and have a look. Dun dun dun. What the shopping list is going to be. Well, the bottom pulley, just down there, doesn't want to come undone. So we've just pulled the belt out. And there's the answer, look. Do your cam belt, people. So do you really think he just threaded, he just lost one and then that pulled onto the next one and he just succession? Because if you look, he's gone, and he could always get my fingers under there, look.
I mean, it might have lost a couple in the same place, and then it just wasn't spreading the load over them evenly.
I mean, somewhere it's all right. You weren't getting under that, but under the threat of an engine, he was threading his teeth. Oh, Wilson.
Right.
But the good news is, going through its history, which I didn't even know this, he went through some floodwater back in '99 when the vehicle had done 40,000 miles. And then he went back to Rover and Land Rover and paid a lot of money to have a brand new engine fitted. So that engine's only done 50,000 miles. So now we're going to take the head off and see what's left of it. Now for the part that every K-Series normally has because of a head gasket. But Wilson never suffered a head gasket, but cam belt failure. So unfortunately he's going to be a new cam belt.
And a head gasket.
And a head gasket.
And we'll have to work out whether it wants a new oil rail as well, because they say to do that at the same time as the head gaskets on them.
And a shopping list is coming, people.
So plan with these is we are going to replace them. So if I was,
apparently they stretch.
Yeah, if I was
pulls on the threads.
Not wanting to replace them, I would be keeping track of where they were coming out of to put them back in the same place they went in. But it's not too much of a concern here because they're all a bit knackered.
Yeah, one-time use. So we'll upcycle them in a future welding project in the workshop so they can live again.
And then theoretically we should be ready to shuffle the head forwards and then get it out.
There he goes, there he goes. Nice bit of coolant in the head.
Oh, oh, oh!
God, yeah,
that should be there.
That's what stopped it. That's the jammer.
Bloody hell! I've not seen that before. Am I allowed to say that on the channel?
Well, he's proper bent, isn't he?
No, but look at this.
Yeah, look at that one.
The exhaust valve has come sheared off and wedged itself into the head.
Look at that. They all hit, didn't they? They all badly hit.
Yeah.
Oh, what a shame. Yeah. Wow. And there you go. You got the floating chambers. Ignore the coolant because that just gets sucked out and pulled out with a rag.
Is the infamous silicon head gasket.
Infamous head gasket.
I don't know how many of these still survive because this silicon perimeter just falls off. It's just like bathroom silicon. I mean, it's a bit more technical than that, but it just falls off. and then that's what gives the K series its bad rep. Is these very fixable.
He looks in good order, doesn't he?
Mm?
Yeah, that one looked like he was burning right and no hot spots or nothing.
No, a few witness marks on the pistons where the valves have hit. You see there where it's just cleaned it up.
Yeah. But they'll be alright.
We hope. And the key thing, as we've been saying all along, is don't turn this engine over now. Otherwise these liners are going to move. So that is, keep it still.
Mad. There you go. So now for the shopping list, people.
One of these to start with.
That's what happens when he comes up. Your cam belt snaps, hits a piston and goes in there. And that one was squashed right over because basically the piston hit it and pushed them over. They got nowhere to go. Right, we've emptied them out and it doesn't appear to be any damage to the pistons. That's where it hit, but the vehicle was on tick over, just sat idling. And there's no cracks, there's no breaks. That's the worst one, but we seem to be alright. There's no scoring. So we're going to go for a replacement head. I want to say a massive thank you to Harry. It was an absolute pleasure. So Wilson will live again. You're gonna get gonna have to replace the head, get a new head gasket, get a new cam belt, and all the bits that go with it. So we'll give it a full service as well. So yeah, there's Wilson in all his glory, and he will live again. So thanks for joining us, and we'll do an update on him once we got some parts. Stay safe, stay retro, people.
I've been on my spaceship counting stars since '94, waiting for someone to come and knock on my door, looking for someone who'd be the Venus to my Mars. Why does love always have to be this hard? Got me feeling